श्रीमती अपराजिता सारंगी जी।
It is my pleasure and privilege to talk about the Union Budget for the financial year 26-27. Thank you, Chairman Sir, for giving me this opportunity. At the outset, I commend Honorable Finance Minister Madam Nirmala Sitharaman for giving to this country of 1.4 billion people her 9th consecutive budget, a budget which reflects her commitment, the commitment of the government, the conviction of the government, and the consistency of the government. As I stand here to speak, I am reminded of a few words from Rigveda, the oldest of our Vedas. Sangachadhvam sangvadadhvam sangvo manansi janatam. हम साथ बोले, हम साथ चलें, हमारी भावना और हमारी सोच एक दिशा में हो. My dear colleagues, we are all moving towards one and only one goal in the country, and the goal is to make India Viksit Bharat by 2047. And I can say with all conviction at my command that this particular budget of the financial year 26-27 is definitely a very strong step in our common journey. For the sake of clarity, I must say, my dear friends, that our Finance Minister, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, framed the blueprint around 3 kartavyas. Number 1, to accelerate and sustain economic growth. Number 2, to fulfill the aspirations of the people and build their capacities. And number 3, to align with our core objective of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. बंधुगण, यह ऐतिहासिक बजट सिर्फ संख्याओं का संकलन नहीं है, यह विकसित भारत की यात्रा में हम सब के लिए एक माइलस्टोन है, एक निर्णायक मील का पत्थर है. यह हमारी आर्थिक स्थिरता, सुधार और हम सब के सामूहिक आत्मविश्वास का दस्तावेज है. My dear colleagues, this particular budget of the Union government comes at a time when India is actually moving fast in its growth trajectory, and we must accept and acknowledge this. This is the first budget of the second quarter of 21st century, and that's why it's a very important budget for all of us, for all 1.4 billion Indians. Friends, we are aware of the fact that in 2014, we were the 10th largest economy, and at this juncture, our macro fundamentals are very strong. We are the 4th largest economy, bypassing Japan. We are going to be the 3rd largest economy, bypassing Germany very soon. And our forest reserves are very high. Our exports have gone beyond $800 billion. And I must say here, we have been all listening about inflation rate. The inflation at this juncture, December 25 figure, we are at 1.7%. And here while I say this, I must say that between 2011 and 2014, the average inflation of this country was 9.8%. I must say this, and I think all of us sitting in this house must appreciate this. Friends, the unemployment rate, all of us have been talking about the unemployment rate. It's declining every day, and at this juncture, it is 4.8%. We must realize this. हमारा देश वैश्विक निवेशकों, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए एक भरोसेमंद गंतव्य की तरफ उभर के आया है, और हम सबको समझना होगा कि इस तरह की जो आर्थिक स्थिति है, जब विश्व में हमारी प्रशंसा हो रही है, हम मजबूत जमीन पर खड़े हैं, यह कोई संयोग नहीं है, यह हमारे अनुशासित वित्तीय प्रबंधन, संरचनात्मक सुधारों और स्पष्ट नीति का प्रमाण है। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच, की दूरदर्शिता और मार्गदर्शन को मैं नमन करती हूँ। The analysis of the budget of financial year 26-27 makes it abundantly clear that the Indian government has chosen the path of long-term growth. And this is not growth by impulse, this is not short-term stimulus. This is possible because of sustained, continuous investment in infrastructure, in institutions, in industrial capacity and upskilling. We must realize this. And these four things which I talked of are extremely important when a country aspires to become a developed nation. As was told by Honorable Madam Sitharaman in her speech, the expenditure today stands at 53.5 lakh crore. We must remember this. And the fiscal deficit stands at 4.3% of the GDP. My dear friends, we are in a very difficult global settings. I think all of us are aware of this. All my esteemed colleagues who are present in this house, it's an age of global uncertainty. And in this age of fractured global order, the government of India has decided to keep building. Charai veti, we must remember this. There is a massive scale up in public capital expenditure. I remember in 2014 it was just 2 lakh crore. We must appreciate this. Rupees 2 lakh crore in 2014-15 has gone up to 11.2 lakh crore rupees in 2025-26. And now, with all pride, with all happiness as a citizen of the country, I can say that the public capital expenditure has gone up to 12.2 lakh crore rupees, which is 4.4% of the GDP, and it registers a 10% increase over the last year. And friends, we are aware of the fact that if the capital expenditure grows, then it definitely has a large multiplier effect on the economy. Urban transformation. Urban transformation is a very significant pillar of the budget. Madam Sitharaman talked about engines of growth. The cities, the big towns are today the engines of growth. And a wonderful concept was brought about and placed before all of us, the city economic region. City economic region focusing on Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities have been thought about by the government. Rupees 5,000 crore will be given to this city economic region, every city economic region, over a period of 5 years to build infrastructure. And we know what will happen. Less reduced pressure on the mega cities and fostering balanced development in the process. All of us know that no country ever can actually become a developed nation without having manufacturing competitiveness, and our government has tried to give a substantial push to the manufacturing competitiveness idea. This will not only create jobs, but also in the long run help promote our exporting community. The allocation of rupees 10,000 crore to the biopharma sector will not only help our people take care of their healthcare needs, but also lead to huge exports. Similarly, there was mention of many important areas which I think we must be talking about wherever we are. India has really advanced forward. There is focus on semiconductor mission 2.0, nuclear sector, rare earth corridors, data centers and electronics components mission with a whopping 40,000 crore as the allocation. And I'm sure these investments will lead to less import dependency and make India future ready. I think these are things that we are thinking about our country, and I underscore the fact that we are intending to become Viksit Bharat by 2047, and that is why we have to be future ready. The provision of 4,000 e-buses is definitely going to enhance regional connectivity. My dear friends, 20 new national waterways, expanded road networks, freight corridors, 7 high-speed rail corridors and multimodal logistics system. These are giant leap towards a more competitive, resilient, confident and self-reliant Viksit Bharat by 2047. We may like it, we may not like it, but we need to accept it. My dear friends, I take this opportunity to convey our immense gratefulness to our Honorable Prime Minister for going for almost 9 free trade agreements and trade deal with a couple of countries in the last couple of years. Again, there would be critics, there would be naysayers, but I know to every action of Prime Minister Modi, there is an equal and opposite negative reaction from my right side. Free trade agreements and trade deal have been signed with New Zealand, UK, Oman, Australia, European Union consisting of 27 nations, and very recently with the US. And this is an indication of a particular thing which I think we need to appreciate. This is an indication of the fact that the government of India under the leadership of our Prime Minister knows how to navigate in a difficult world order. I talked about difficult global settings. We are aware of that. And in this difficult world order, the government of India for the past couple of years, about 10-12 years, have acquired the ability, the capability, the talent to navigate successfully. In this budget, a number of customs duties and import duties have been withdrawn. And this is for good. This is to help the exporting community. Friends, I would like to give certain examples which I think all of us need to appreciate. We have allowed duty-free import of ingredients by seafood exporters, allowing 3% of freight on board value of exports to be imported duty-free by textile and leather goods, and allowing SEZ units to sell in domestic tariff area at concessional duty, and these are extremely progressive and pragmatic ways of strengthening our exporting community. My dear friends, our Prime Minister and our Finance Minister have been talking all the while about the micro, small and medium enterprises. I would say they are the backbone of Indian economy, extremely important, and they control 4% of the manufacturing output. About 49% of India's total exports, and around 31% of the national GDP. Now, with 7.47 crore MSMEs in the country, employing around 33 crore people, MSME has emerged as the second largest employer after agriculture. And our government, under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, recognizes this. And that is why rupees 10,000 crore have been allocated as SME Growth Fund. And there is a great concept, and the concept is nurturing the champion MSMEs. I think this is something very interesting, very innovative, and we all need to stand together and appreciate. Friends, a healthy India is a prosperous India. And here I must like to inform all of you, or rather help you recall, that Madam Nirmala Sitharaman allocated rupees 1.06 lakh crore for the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in this budget. And this is a staggering 194% increase over the 2014-15 levels. In order to make our healthcare affordable and even accessible to many people, the customs duties, the import duties have been withdrawn from 17 cancer drugs and drugs of many diseases which are rare by nature. I think this is something for which our government, Prime Minister Modi's government, needs to be commended and complimented. Now, my dear friends, could anybody think about AVGC, animation, visual effects, gaming and comics? This government is planning to raise about 2 million professionals by 2030 in AVGC sector. Absolutely out of the box idea, you may like it or not, but this is highly innovative and an out of the box idea of our government. Now here, the government will be supporting the Institute of Creative Technologies Mumbai to raise these professionals and to actually establish content creator labs in about 15,000 secondary schools and 500 colleges. It is very easy for me to read out, as my dear friend just did. When you are convinced about what your government is doing, you need not read out from the papers. I know what our government is doing and how my government is ensuring that India moves forward. I don't have to look into papers for data and statistics. We are convinced that the government is moving forward, and this confidence is coming out when we speak about the government's good works. Friends, there is a very interesting thing.
Ma'am, kindly address the chair.
Yeah, thank you. To ensure sustained economic growth and also at the same time to keep fiscal deficit in check is an interesting phenomenon. It's a challenge. And I'm extremely happy to inform the House that we recognize, we appreciate that this government has been doing that. Our growth momentum has been sustained, and at the same time, fiscal deficit is low, 4.3%, as I told earlier. This is a challenge which has been taken on by the government. The budget of financial year 26-27 is definitely pragmatic, pro-people and balanced in nature. हमें सशक्त, आत्मनिर्भर और विकसित भारत बनाना है। बंधुगण, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच, उनके दिग्दर्शन, उनकी सकारात्मकता के सामने हम सब नतमस्तक हैं। मैं नमन करती हूं और उनके लिए दो पंक्तियां। मैं सोच भी बदलता हूं, मैं नजरिया भी बदलता हूं, मंजिल जाने तक का जरिया भी बदलता हूं, और अगर बदलता नहीं कुछ तो सिर्फ अपना लक्ष्य नहीं बदलता हूं, अपना पक्ष नहीं बदलता हूं। आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। कहना आसान है, करना कठिन, लेकिन हमारी सरकार आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के बलिष्ठ नेतृत्व में आगे बढ़ती जा रही है। आइए हम सब संग छद्वम संग वदध्वम संग वो मनांसी जानताम, हम साथ चले, हम साथ बोले और हम सब की सोच और भावना एक दिशा में हो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।